fact, this next song also comes from camp. There is a funny story on this. This next song is a song that every once in a while we do Havdalah for the congregation, as I'm sure you do. And this song we always include because, number one, it's one of the great Israeli songs from the 70s, written by Eric Einstein. It's called Ani Ve'ata, which means you and I. The song is You and I Will Change the World. And they've said it before, but it doesn't matter. You and I will change the world. And it was written by this guy, Eric Einstein. And my brother lived in Israel in the early 80s. He was in the Jerusalem Symphony. He's a cellist. And so he was at one point, for some reason, he was looking for a roommate. Eric Einstein was his roommate. So they go to the movies. And they're walking in the movies, and all these women are like coming up and like, oh, and my brother thought they were coming for him. I'm like, Ricky, nobody cares about a cellist.
But you never know. You never know. You gotta let him think it.
He did end up getting married, so it worked somehow. Right, but that was so. This is an amazing song. One of the great songs from that time period. And then I'm going to go right into a second one. I was thinking about most of the stuff that I wanted to do today with everybody. And there really is a theme. And I think the theme, and I think this might be a theme of all the music that I write in a way. That's not the liturgy stuff is how do we elevate our existence as a human being? How do we live with goodness? And how do we recognize that we're all kind of tied to each other? So I'm going from Ani Ve'ata. I'm going to go right into one of my other favorite songs, which is called Mi Ha'ish, which is from Proverbs. And as a matter of fact, the Mi Ha'ish, Hechafetz Chaim Ohev Yamim Lirotov, is what is written on every one of my talitot. Instead of the bracha around the talit, I have this written. And I'll just translate what it is, because I'm going to go one into the other. Who is the person who desires life, loves days, and sees good? And I just think that's kind of my mantra, right? Who desires life, loves days, and looks towards goodness. And then it talks about guarding your tongue from evil and turning away from evil speech and seeking peace, which Lashon Hara is something I am very protective of. So, these two songs really for me are kind of what all of my music is about. It's about trying to make a difference in the world and pursuing goodness and peace and love and stillness and all of that. So hopefully this little section can bring that into all of us. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה אז יבוא כבר כולם. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, זה לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. Let's just try that and laugh. You want to sing along? La 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 la. אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, זה לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם. אני ואתה ננסה מההתחלה. We will try from the beginning, it won't be so bad. יהיה לנו רע, אין דבר, זה לא נורא, אמרו את זה קודם לפניי, זה לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם, את העולם, את העולם. מי האיש החפץ חיים, אוהב ימים, אוהב ימים, לראות טוב. מי האיש החפץ חיים, אוהב ימים, אוהב ימים, לראות טוב. ניצור לשונך מרע ושפתיך מדבר פנימה, סור מרע ועשה טוב, תוך כשלום רודפהו. מי האיש החפץ חיים, אוהב ימים, אוהב ימים, לראות טוב.
Thank you. That is a beautiful, both beautiful songs. The thing that I appreciate musically about those two pieces, especially, is so many Jewish musicians. For whatever reason, they write their melodies, and they'll choose a piece of liturgy to write, but they won't really completely grasp the true meaning of the song, and the music itself doesn't, completely reflect the essence of the text. And those two just do. You can play it and it sounds like
Chava Alberstein, I think, wrote that second one. Really, really beautiful.
Absolutely. It reminds me of, I mentioned this in a class or something like that, Rabbi Chaim Stern of blessed memory, in Gates of Repentance writes that, tempers judgment, severe decree. It's amazing. You can't go like, tempers judgment, severe decree, la 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 la. I mean, like, you can't do that. And yet there are people that, just don't quite grasp that. So thank you for sharing that, because that's a true example of what the text means musically.
It's such a great that Mi Ha'isha, one of my favorite songs of all time.
Stunning.
It's an incredible song.
Stunning. Rabbi Aaron, can you actually, so where did Jewish music become? I know we're jumping now out of order. I told you this would happen.
All right. No worries.
When did Jewish music become such a passion for you? Because you can see it as you play. I mean, it just goes in and out of your soul. We see it.
Well, I mean, it is funny. It's not really funny, but my grandfather actually was a cantor. Mm-hmm. I never met him. He died in 1955. He was the head cantor in Mannheim, Germany. And right after Kristallnacht, he went in and grabbed all the music and left, and was a cantor in Worcester, Massachusetts. So, for me, there was never a time when I didn't do music and wasn't singing and wasn't doing something. Although I did play French horn for many years before I picked up the guitar. And when I was in high school, my freshman year of high school, I went to they had these retreat weekends that they called conclavette. It was like a conclave, but it was a little one, so they would call it a conclavette. And we had that at our house. I mean, at our synagogue. And Louis Dobin, who's one of the great song leaders. So Louis Dobin and Jeff Klepper were the song leaders at this weekend. And I'm like I think I was in 8th grade. Might have been beginning of 9th grade. But I think it had to be 8th grade because I wasn't in the youth group yet. And I go to see these two guys, and they taught 2 brand new songs at that song session. And when I say brand new, you're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but the first one was Shalom Rav. That they were introducing Shalom Rav to everybody. And the other one was Dodi Lee, Dodi Lee. Those were the 2 songs they did. And they're up in front. There was like 150 kids in there. They're all going crazy, singing these incredible songs. And I'm like, I want to do that.
Yep.
And about 3 or 4 months later, picked up the guitar and, learned things like Hava, Nagila, Hava. Those were the songs you learned at first. Shalom, Chaverim, Shalom, Chaverim.
There's only 3 chords you gotta learn, and then you've got.
I only learned 3 chords.
Right. Wow, that's fantastic. We have a similar story in that way. That's very cool. I mean, you're just overwhelmed with the power of the moment when Jewish music comes alive and how it reaches people, and and then you just kind of gotta say, I gotta have that. I gotta have that in my life.
Right. Yeah. And writing music was always kind of once I started playing just melodies, you start goofing around on the guitar and the melodies start coming out. And over the years, a lot of writing. But it was very curious for my life personally, in that there was a whole time period, like about 20 years, where I literally was not writing any music. First I'd been writing like love, stupid love songs and stuff like that. And then Debbie Friedman died. Mm-hmm. And a week later, we did a service that was in honor of her, and we did all Debbie Friedman melodies. And we were doing a Vishamru of hers that began in the key of C. And I was like, wow, I wish we had an Ufros Aleinu that was in the key of C. And so I wrote this Ufros Aleinu to go with so it could go nicely into her Vishamru. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of started getting me going. That was about 10 years ago. And that's when I started writing music again, and only for the synagogue. Everything I've written since then has been really for liturgical music or for the theme from our synagogue. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the way that went. It was curious that it took that to happen. I had been writing music, and then I just, for some reason, stopped. And it was that event that kind of brought it on again.
Fascinating. Not surprising. But fascinating. There's something that powerful, certainly. All right, let's hear a little more. Let's hear a little more music.
So I thought we could do a little section of my stuff.
Love it.
As you mentioned, we have an album that came out, and this album is called "Open Up My Heart." And you'll hear the what is that song called? The song that's the name of the album. What is that? What do you call that?
What is that from?
Right.
Title song.
The title song. Thank you.
Song.
My wife. The title track is what you're supposed to say. We're going to do that. That's going to be last because I want to show you the video for that because it's an amazing video and the production on that in the studio was fantastic. And I have one other song I'm going to show a video. But what I wanted to do was 2 songs now that are on the same text. Another one of these texts that has the same theme. Where there is a theme, I think, with all of this stuff. And it's from Pirkei Avot. And it's the phrase, B'makom she'en anashim. Hishtadel lihiot ish. This is something Hillel said. In a place where no one is acting with humanity, strive to be human.
This was Rabbi. We did this piece as, believe it was a Yom Kippur Rosh Hashanah sermon anthem 2 years
my God!
ago. I made sure we did this exact piece because I fell in love with it. I didn't do the rap.
Well, I'm going to do it's
good.
It's
I can't wait to hear it.
Spoken word. It's a spoken word.
Spoken word, but this is so great. I mean, okay, I'm going to be
Awesome.
quiet
So
now.
people might know it a little
They
bit.
do.
And
I guarantee you they know it.
I think I sang it too when I was at the synagogue once.
That's great.
The one of the times I was there, but I wanted to do two of this melody, kind of what you were talking about, right? Is like each text can have different melodies. So the first thing I'm going to do is a melody by Michael Isaacson that is this Bimakom, and it's a little bit different. I'll sing just it's a short song, and then we'll go into the English one, and we'll do the spoken word and everything. Okay. By the way, I have a different guitar. This is the guitar. You know, when I was in Jerusalem, my first year of rabbinical school, I had a gig at this place called Prophet's Pub, and I had this guitar in Israel. And you know who my roadie was? At the time, a guy named Rick Steinberg, who later became Rabbi Richard Steinberg. But at that time, he was my roadie. He carried around my guitar for me to my gig.
Do you know who my roadie is?
Who? Rabbi Rick Steinberg?
Rabbi Rick Steinberg.
במקום שאין אנשים, הלל אומר השתדל להיות אותי. במקום שאין אנשים, הלל אומר השתדל להיות אותי. להיות איש במקום שאין אנשים, להיות איש במקום שאין אנשים, אין אנשים, אין אנשים. במקום שאין אנשים, הלל אומר השתדל להיות איש. במקום שאין אנשים, הלל אומר השתדל להיות איש. That's not a well-known melody by Michael Isaacson, but one of his great ones. In a place where no one's acting human, strive to be human. In a place where no one's acting human, strive to be human. במקום שאין אנשים, השתדל להיות איש. במקום שאין אנשים, השתדל להיות איש. When the wholeness of the whole world is falling apart, and they care more about weapons than they care about art. When the valueless value based on normal or odd and negate the creation of the one and same God. Go back tomorrow, a millennium or two, humans not acting human like human beings do, and the people stare in horror and furrow their brow, but allow the hate and bloodshed to continue till now. But hey, they say, It's in our DNA. Everybody in history has acted that way. And others just gather from four corners together and debate their fate on whether it's a storm they can weather. But then there is light to fight without fright, that darkness that darkens the lightest of the light. Act human, because what follows is humane humanity. Learn to love each other the way God intended it to be. In a place where no one's acting human, strive to be human. In a place where no one's acting human, strive to be human. Bimako she'nanashi ishtadel le'yodi b'makom she'en anashim ishtadel le'yodi she'na place where no one's acting human, strive to be human. In a place where no one's acting human, strive.
I love that song.
Thanks.
I love that song.
Yeah, you know, that was written at a time when really people weren't acting human, but the irony of it is that I believe that I could sing that song for the last 5 years straight, and everyone relates to it because of the world that we're in right now. So
No question.
that's heartening, but also a little depressing, right? To know that it hasn't changed that much since I wrote that in 2016. Yeah,
It'll always stay relevant.
I guess so.
No, it's
I'm hoping for the day that people care more about art than they care about weapons, frankly.
yeah, I'm with you.
So moving forward, I wanted to show a video, and I want to show this video because I don't think this song translates as much when it's just one person kind of sitting on the guitar, because it is a nigun. A nigun is a song without words, and this particular one was written after I had done an 18-month program with the Institute for Jewish Spirituality, and it's an incredible program that kind of takes Hasidic texts and reworks them through a mindfulness lens. And it was really inspirational to me in my life. I mean, I lead a meditation Monday through Thursdays every single evening at 5:30 now. So it's like, it's really had an impact on me. And this melody, this nigun melody, I wrote after I completed this course. I was like, I want to do a nigun that's going to take my mind and, elsewhere. And that's what a nigun is supposed to do, right? There's no words, so it's just a melody, and it just kind of comes out of you. And it takes you wherever it does take you. And it's supposed to go and go and go and go. This is a 45-minute song, so I hope you don't mind that I'm just kidding. It's not 45. But the song goes on a little bit, but it repeats itself. And so if you'd like to sing on one of the parts, there's two parts that kind of go back and forth. It's called the Feather Nigun. And the reason why I named it the Feather Nigun is because I feel like the melody falls to the ground like a feather, so that when you're singing it, there's sections that kind of go like this in my mind. And I just thought it was like a feather flying through the air. And that's why I named it Feather Nigun. The video you're going to see is a video that I made with my colleagues at the synagogue, and we recorded it at a tashlich. I think it was maybe a couple of years ago, and then we made a video out of this. And you'll see some words in it. And the words are, we actually borrowed from Shir Hamalot the idea of having a theme for the year and putting out a program book. So this was part of that theme, and the theme for the year was Jewish spiritual expression and a phrase "Bechol darchecha da'ehu," in all of your ways, or in all of your all the places you go, know God, da'ehu, and that idea of knowing and knowledge is an intimate relationship. You say that someone knew someone in the biblical sense, right? You're talking about a sexual relationship there, but we're talking about a closeness and a knowing that is a deep knowing. And so, this song is meant to be heard, right? Even though there's a video here, if you want to close your eyes and just kind of let it waft over you, there's kind of a buildup. And this was kind of fun to make. I'll tell you, when we recorded it, we gathered 5 or 6 people in one room, and we all sang it, and then we switched places and we sang it again, and then some people got on the floor and some people sang at the wall, and everyone was singing in all directions, so it sounded like a group of people. So in the end, at one point on this song, there's probably about 140 people that are singing, although with the same like 6, 7 people or whatever, but just 140 times. So you'll hear it grows and it grows and it grows, and each time through, there's more people that join in, because it was supposed to be this idea of people joining together for their spiritual expression. You ready? And this song is on the album, as was the last song that Strive is on there too. So I'm gonna share this in a second. Just want to make sure we're good. Okay, here we go. Can you see that, Bryan? You hear everything?
yeah, I'm still. Whoa!
Well, look who's here.
What is?
It's like a feather.
It's like a feather. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about.
Welcome, Rabbi Steinberg.
It is great to see you both, two of my favorite Jewish musicians. And Rabbi Aaron, welcome back to our temple. We're so glad to have you here. Thank you. It is true, I was your roadie, and I taught you not only the C minor chord, but also the chord of E.
True. You know what? You also, just to, for total clarification, for being a roadie, I used to give you a slice of pizza, didn't I? I used to pay for the pizza for the money that I got from that gig, which was like $4.
That's exactly correct.
Is that all it costs? That's a good deal.
$4. That's what they paid me. I think they paid me 30 shekels for the entire evening.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that is the summer of 1990, all the way through 91, the year of the Gulf War, the first Gulf War.
Yeah, but they closed that pub closed up because everyone left because of Saddam Hussein invading Kuwait. Yeah, that was a bummer.
Well, thank you for being here.
And I bought a sweatshirt. Someone stole the sweatshirt. I don't have the sweatshirt anymore.
Well, thank you for being here, John. We love having you at Temple, and I could listen to you sing all day long, brother. I mean, you have some of my favorite songs in your repertoire, I know.
We have a little surprise for you, Richard.
Uh-oh.
Rabbi Steinberg. I should be formal, shouldn't I?
No, you can call me Rick, please.
Oh my God, even my thing, I have to wait a minute, that wasn't right. It wasn't right to do that.
I mean, I was going to call you Temple Emmanuel.
I know.
That was what I was going to call you.
Wait, I have to join you. There we go.
Jonathan Aaron has that kind of name where you have to say the whole name. You can't just say, oh, it's right. John or Jonathan. It's Jonathan Aaron or John Aaron.
John Aaron is what I would always get. Mm-hmm. So I have a guest. I have a special guest.
Okay, bring her on. My roommate?
No, it's my dog. My dog's no. Of course it's your roommate. Ladies and gentlemen of Shir Hamalot. Now to present my better half.
Shoot, I better be really good. That's
there
that's
she is.
Huge...
Well, let's get this so that it's.
Hi, Michelle. Good to see you.
Michelle, welcome back to Temple.
We're back. We're back to Shir Malos. That's how the Ashkenazim say it, right, Rabbi Rick?
That is correct.
You look great. Nice to see ya.
Nice to see you. I'm so excited. This is truly a surprise. I was just told to show up, so here I am.
So this is for Rick Steinberg. What song do you think we're going to be doing?
One of two songs, the Shout of the People or The Secret of Life.
You can play the game. You can act out the part.
Wait a minute.
I was trying to do without a segue, but you know it was.
Wait, let's start again. We didn't have the words in front of us.
You can play the game, you can act out the part, but you know it wasn't written for you. It sort of was written for him, though. How can you stand there with your broken heart? Always playing fool. One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother.
run, but you cannot hide. Now this is widely known. Now what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Won't you tell somebody the way that you feel? You can feel it beginning to ease. Think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel. Ain't no always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. What I'd like to do to you, oh, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will.
It's just like James Taylor was really here, right?
Oh, shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel.
Let it rain.
Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel.
Oh, make it rain.
Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Everybody, 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 everybody. Everybody, everybody.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, my roommates.
Rick could sing that
Jonathan-
from the shower better than anybody.
When Rick sings it, it belongs in the shower.
That was you guys with your music, shower love with people. We just are receiving your energy and your love, and we are so grateful. Thank you for making me a happy camper today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
That was great.
Thanks.
Hi, Abby.
Hi, Abby.
Hi, guys.
You really had me fooled. I thought you were in the sanctuary, and now you're not.
I
was
know,
like,
that
"Phew."
was very fancy
everywhere.
background.
He teleports, the click of a button.
He's everywhere.
Incredible.
He's all things everywhere.
You know,
Michelle, I love how you hit those notes, man. That was
Oh,
so
thanks,
cool.
buddy. Thanks, man.
Beautiful.
I taught her. And we've been working
did.
on
You
it.
taught me
And you're
everything.
really a great student. Thank you so much.
you
My
know,
pleasure, my
I think
pleasure.
that there's something that kind of needs to be said here, and because there's something very special going on, and you can already see it. You see the meshing. You see, John, you look very confused.
Pensive.
But yeah,
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
I bet I know.
let me tell you what's going on. Is that you know, I've known both of you for quite a while in very different ways, and one of the things that I love as a person and as a rabbi is getting to see the two of you interact as such close friends. I mean, I'm gonna leave it to whoever's imagination is you want it to be. But
Just try to keep the friendship going. That's all.
yeah, but there's something so inherently special about it, and that it's really hard to find. And being in the positions that you are, to be able to relate with one another, to be able to talk with one another, to feed ideas off of one another, and you're not just good rabbis. You're just exceptional people, and that's why you two mesh together so well, and that's why I feel very humbled to be here in Zoom company, but just to hang out with the both of you whenever I get the chance is really one of the highlights of what I get to do. So thank you.
Thank you, rabbis. I was thinking about it. Jonathan and I have known each other 31 years. And through thick and thin, we have a lot in common. We're both the youngest of 3 boys. So I think we kind of relate on that level. And just shared a lot of life together with Michelle, really 29 years.
I already told
29 years, Michelle, we've known each other?
Huh? Yeah. She came around in 83?
Me?
82?
93.
I was 15 years old in 83.
92.
So this is, you're right, Rabbi Zive, this is long-standing friendships that stand the test of time, and I'm very grateful.
And I love the "come on, knock on our door" thing. It's great. It's classic.
Listen, Rabbi Steinberg, I said you were the Suzanne Summers character, so I at least gave you.
That was wrong, by the way. Just want to say.
I don't even remember the other actress who played.
Janet. She played Janet.
Yeah, I don't know who that. Would you rather be Mr. Roper?
Oh, Joyce DeWitt. Joyce DeWitt.
Joyce DeWitt. That's the one.
Joyce DeWitt. That's it. Not Storm.
Indeed.
We're about, well, wow, we time is flying here, which is good.
Wow.
Which is good, but and my friend, if you don't mind giving us 5 or 10 extra minutes on this, it's really, I'd love to open it up.
He'll charge you.
I know, it's okay. It's okay. I'll make it up to him. I'll be his roadie. I'll be his roadie for a little bit. I'll make it up to him. There are, I want to open this up to some questions. If anybody out here in Facebook land wants to ask any questions to Rabbi Aaron about his music, about him, about, whatever he wants to answer and feels comfortable doing so, please feel free. But Rabbi, I know one of the questions that Rabbi Steinberg and I have this conversation very often, especially when he and I became close. And we're dreaming up what a rabbinic position at Shir HaMa'alot could be in a musical sense. Can you describe what it means to you to be a musical rabbi, or a rabbi that is musical, and how Jewish music and music in itself truly enhances and supports your rabbinate?
Well, it's funny. Since the pandemic happened, it's very important because early on, especially, we weren't bringing anyone in to do any music. It was just me and the cantor in there, and we bubbled. And so, I basically do the music for the congregation during the pandemic time. You probably have had the same experience. This past Friday was the 100th webcast, if you did them starting that first week when we all went underground, right? 100 services if you count Friday and Saturday. So, that's a lot of stuff. And the fact is, it is music that I think touches people so much more deeply than anything else. And so the way that I find the music works for me in the rabbinate is a couple of things. Number one, it gives me a kind of, I think, sensitivity to poetry and to rhythm that is helpful when leading a service. But more importantly, for me, the music is the thing that drives the service. So whether I'm playing the music and I'm blessed, I have an incredible cantor who has an amazing voice. So whether it's she singing or me singing, it's the rhythm of the service goes through with the music. And so what people emotionally attach to most of the time, I think, are the melodies. And I also have a theory that when you sing, you can't think. It just takes up space in your mind. And so for me, singing, and I think in a prayer sense, singing is a very helpful tool in taking us, away from the mundane and bringing us into a kind of holy place. It helps with that because you can't be thinking about getting groceries after services in the middle of your singing. It might come in afterwards, but that's what I love about a nigun so much, right? Is it just takes up the space inside of you so that that's all that you're doing. And when that happens, for me, it feels like the rest of the world kind of floats away for a moment, and you're existing in the now. And I think that's a lot of what we're trying to get done in our services. So that's how I'd probably answer that.
Does it, a follow-up to that, does it, obviously as senior rabbi now of Temple Emmanuel Beverly Hills, I'm sure nobody's looking at you as being, calling you cantor for that matter. You've established that long ago. But I mean,
sure.
But the singing rabbi, I'm sure maybe you get some of that, or maybe perhaps not anymore. I mean, is there a tug of war with you and your emotions when people identify you through your music rather than necessarily what you trained for?
That's interesting. I haven't really thought about that very much. Well, the first 3 or 4 years that I was here, I never even took my guitar out. So that was one thing. I wanted to establish that I was one of the rabbis here, and I didn't really have to. And then I started to take it out more. But I think people think of me more as a rabbi, and that it's an extension of my rabbinate as opposed to being the singing rabbi. I'm a rabbi that happens to have the ability and skill to lead services with a guitar and singing. And I think one of the reasons for that is because I've had such really fine cantors, and I believe in the cantorate so much, and I want them to be the owners of the music. So I never really, I shouldn't say never, I've probably said I like or I don't like a certain melody, but I don't tell the cantor what to do. And I like there to be a collegial relationship there. And I've been blessed. I've had 2 cantors, one for 19 years and the other one for 6 or 7 years. And they've been amazing people, and they've allowed me to express myself through my music too, which doesn't always happen. So, that's how I think that works on that.
Yeah, you've worked with some really incredible cantors. I mean, you have Cantor Lizzie Weiss right now. You've had Cantor Yona Klieger before. I mean, you've had some really dynamite musicians working with you. And Yona's actually on our Facebook feed right now, and he just typed in, "This is great. This is great." He said, "When we worked together, we used to love it when people would ask which one of us is the rabbi and which one of us is the cantor." And, I think Rick and I don't necessarily, there's not that push and pull, but I mean, we're getting better. We're getting better.
I would say this though, to be a rabbi who's also a musician, it adds another set of tools to your rabbinate that somebody like me who loves Jewish music, doesn't have. And you can teach, I mean, your song that you wrote, that you sang for us, Jonathan, you're teaching Jewish texts through music. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to be able to do. And, we joke at Temple a lot about how I can't sing, and we have a lot of fun with it. But it really, I wish I could, and I wish I'm not afraid to sing, but it would add a new dimension to my rabbinate if I were able to do that. And so Rabbi Zive and I talk a lot about, how you establish yourself as a rabbi, and this is an extension and a great toolbox you have. To do that.
Well, we do joke all the time about that Rabbi DePaulo and I, we sing, and then there's Rabbi Steinberg. We joke a lot about that, but I actually I get personally very defensive. I don't show it, but I get very defensive when people actually say things like that, and more so because Rabbi Steinberg is very musical. He's very musical. So we do have 3 musical rabbis at our synagogue. And, everybody remembers what Craig Taubman says. There's no such thing as I can't sing, it's I won't sing. And I think there really truly is something, and he never won't sing. So.
Well, there's no doubt that your spiritual life, Rabbi Steinberg, I'm sorry, your spiritual life is tied to music and tied to that part, right? So whether you're singing the right notes or not, your body's still vibrating. You're still forming the sounds. It's still coming out from inside of you. So that expression is there. Whether you're singing the right note, I've actually found that Rick sings a natural harmony when he's trying to sing the melody. It works.
How many times have I said that to you? You're singing the third, you don't even know it.
I don't know that I'm doing it. That's the funny part.
No, it's great. And my friends, I think out here in Facebook, land here. It's really important. This is a great conversation to be having, and this conversation could go on forever. I mean, about how rabbis use this talent that was always designated for the cantor and has now become really infused in so many of these multi-dimensional rabbis, and it's really made the rabbinate stronger. And I appreciate that. It's one of the reasons why I felt I could go become a rabbi, and that's it's because of rabbis like you, Rabbi Aaron, that have paved the way for rabbis like me. And
that's lovely to say that. I really appreciate you saying that. I think the secret of all of it, though, is that when we work together, we're colleagues, and we're working together to create an experience. So, what gets me afraid when people are like, "Oh, you're the singing rabbi, the musical rabbi," is I would never want that to take away from the cantor, the cantorate, and our cantor, and whatever I do, I want it to be a compliment to what she's doing or what he's doing. When it was Cantor Klieger, there may be moments where, it's mine, it's my moment to sing it, or we go back and forth on it. But to me, there has to be respect, love, admiration, and sharing that happens between the rabbi and the cantor.
Amen.
No question. I mean, this is Rick, please.
Before you sing a last song, I hope, Jonathan, somebody commented in the chat early on that Rabbi Jonathan Aaron is one of the great songwriters of our generation. And I would say that's true. Is that
my mom? Did my mom write that in?
No, but it was one of your interns. So there you go.
I would just
probably.
I'd just add to that, not because he's my dear friend, but he's one of the great rabbis of our generation as well. I mean, multi-talented as a preacher, a musician, a pastor, and just a hell of a great guy. So
that's really nice, Rick.
Yeah,
that's very embarrassing, actually. But thank you.
Just take the love that is being sent your way.
Thank you.
Rabbi, would you like to give us one final song before we?
I wanted to do as my final song the song from the album, which is the latest song that I'd written for this year, and I think it's got a wonderful spiritual dimension to it. And again, it's a good example too. The cantor and I both sing on it, right? So it's like I sing the first part, she sings the next part. We come together, I sing the harmonies with her. So it is kind of a collegial relationship, but it's the name of the album. I'm going to do a shameless pitch now. The album is called Open Up My Heart, and it comes from Pitchuli. Wait a minute, is it Pitchuli? No. Ptach Libi, open up my heart, Ptach Libi. And it's the idea that we need to open up our hearts to love each other again. And again, it's a theme that really does seem to carry in a lot of the stuff that I write. I have one song, Responsible for Each Other, which is about how we are all, sharing this world and why that we need to take care of each other. And then the strive, of course, is let's act human. The nigun is to bring us into a spiritual place. And this one, Open Up My Heart, really is about the impetus for it. I wrote this right after the riots and the racial discord that happened in May. And a lot of what we've been talking about this year has to do with the way we treat people of color, especially in our congregations. And so there's a line in there that is we are only free when we are all free to be. And, that is really a Martin Luther King line, but it's that idea really that the only way we are free is when all of us are. And if one of us isn't, then we have a problem there. And, I had a big argument with one of my daughters recently because I was like, I'm so happy that I live in this country because it's a free country. And she didn't even know I had written that word, those lines in the song. And she's like, you know what, though? It's not a free country because everyone's not free. And I tried to kind of explain to her, yeah, well, we are, even though that's true, we kind of are. But in the end, she's right. If someone isn't free, then none of us are. And that's kind of part of what happens here. And then I will share with you the last part of the song. There's two parts to this song. The last part we call our Lion King section, because I wrote it to kind of pattern after that awee moet, awee moet, awee moet. So you'll hear that as it comes on. And then I guess we'll come on afterwards and I'll just say goodbye and stuff like that. But I really would like people to hear and see this song. Okay. I will tell you that when we shot this, it was about like 90 degrees and it was really, really, really hot in this forest. So that is that. And here we go. Wait a second. Just wait 1 second. Okay. Can you hear? Let me know if you can hear it.
There comes a time in every fight when it's been going on so long that the reasons it all began are far away and ancient news. When the only answer left is that's the way it's always been. The way it's always been is broken. It's time to open up our view.
Let me hear my voice like I've never heard before. Let me see through eyes like I've just been born. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness everywhere. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness everywhere.
My favorite part of the song, right in this little section right here.
There comes a time in every age when there's no choice but to change, when we evolve and learn and grow and clearly see what has to be. And right now the only answer is we are all made in God's image, worthy of human dignity. We're only free when we're all free.
Let me hear my voice like I've never heard before. Let me see through eyes like I've just been born. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness everywhere. Open up my heart, open up my soul to listen, to care, find goodness
Set my heart free, set my mind
That's Josh
free.
Goldberg. He produced
Set
this
my
song.
soul free, set me free. Set my heart free, set my mind free. Set my soul free, set me free.
Come on, Rabbi Steinberg, let's hear you on this.
Set my heart free, set my mind free. Set my soul free, set me free. Set my heart free, set my mind free. Set my soul free, set me free. Set my
We
heart free,
are only free when we are all free to
There's Tanner Klieger in the middle there.
We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be. We are only free when we are all free to be.
That's so cool. That is
That's
just so cool.
Yeah, that came out nice.
Well, Rabbi Aaron, thank you so much for sharing your talent, your wisdom. Just a true gift to all of us. I see that Cookie said it right on our feed right now. It really is a gift. So thank you. Thank you for being with us during this SHM Sunday Song Session.
Thank you for inviting me. As I said, Irvine and is the Beverly Hills of Orange County. And so you're like a sister congregation to us.
We love
I
it.
should say,
You know what?
older brother congregation.
We strive to do a lot of the same really cool creative things that you guys do. So we're very, very fortunate. My friends, we know this has ran just a little long, but I know you have really enjoyed it, and we're very grateful to everybody. Next Sunday, please join us, same time, same channel, SHM Sunday Song Session with Rabbi Ken Chasen. So Rabbi Ken Chasen,
He's much better than me. He's
you're both wonderful. You are both wonderful. So that's going to be a real treat to hear another example of a musical rabbi. So,
true.
So lots of great stuff. So until then, everybody, I will remind you all, as we always do, to keep singing. Have a great day, everyone.